recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZED Games AU.
What's that? What could that possibly be?
It's the sound of Christmas!
And Hanukkah! And many other festive holidays. Tis the season. I'm so excited.
Okay. So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
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 Perfect. Thank you.
You're listening to Zed Games. My name's Hazel, and I'm in the studio with...
Caroline.
And...
Someone who regrets shaking their head so much.
Whoops.
Rip.
Well, that's Zahra.
Yeah.
And there are way too many musical instruments in the studio tonight.
Yes, they will be revealed one by one. And by revealed one by one, I mean 2 of them have already been revealed.
Yeah.
We've only got 1 left.
Okay.
How are we all tonight?
Oh, exhausted.
I always feel that the days leading up to the holiday is a sprint, but it feels like it's at the end of a marathon. Especially with New Year's around the corner as well. So it's just like, oh, I'm so tired. But only a few more sleeps.
Yeah.
So
So,
whole new year.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
wonder
got
what's
one
it
more
over.
day of work, and then we get to leave town.
I've still got 2 more.
splitting. You're skadoosing.
Well, what?
I don't know.
What isn't it? Isn't that the move that
Skedaddle.
no, skadoosh is when Kung Fu Panda kills the snow leopard guy.
I don't know. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I can't remember.
Well, I know what we're spending our holidays doing.
Oh my god, okay.
Is that not what happens in the movie?
You're completely correct.
Of course I am.
I just didn't expect it to be brought up right now.
Always, Kung Fu Panda always needs to be brought up.
Mhm.
It's a
You're
good
right.
movie.
It's a
And it's a
fantastic
good game.
movie.
It's not a bad game either.
I've not played the
Bringing
game.
it back to games, because this is Zed Games after all. And you know what Zed Games always starts with?
What?
The news.
Okay.
Oh!
that
Here
too.
it
Yeah.
comes.
This Christmas, in gaming news. Hideo Kojima, hot on the heels of his announcement of Death Stranding 2 at the Game Awards, has announced that his studio, Kojima Productions, will be teaming up with Hammerstone Studios to develop a Death Stranding film. Hammerstone Studio head, Alex Lebovicki, who recently produced the horror hit Barbarian, has stated the film will be something far more intimate and grounded, which may be Kojima's greatest challenge yet. Last week's Game Awards brought with it a slew of new game announcements. Some of the bigger titles included Ked Levine's first game since Bioshock Infinite, titled Judas, a new IP that very much follows in the vein of Bioshock, but now it's about comic space cowboys. A sequel to the 2018 indie juggernaut Hades was revealed. Hades 2 is planned for an early access release next year, featuring a new protagonist, Melinoe, the daughter of Hades and Persephone. The game will deal with the dawn of witchcraft in a battle against the titan, Kronos. With Bayonetta 3 still fresh, Platinum Games have announced a new game in the series, this time taking part before the trilogy. With a new fixed perspective and art style, Bayonetta Orange's Soreza and the Lost Demon will be out on March 17th, 2023. The Celeste team, Extremely OK Games, have announced their next game, Earthsword. Playing to their strengths, you can look forward to the exploration-heavy pixel art platformer in 2024. Many other new games were shown off: Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Armored Core 6 Spires of Rubicon, Crash Team Rumble, Hellboy, Web of Weird, Remnant 2, and Transformers Reactivate, just to name a few. We'll be posting many of the trailers over on the Zed Games Facebook page. The upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was also revealed to have one last performance from voice actor Kevin Conroy, who passed away on November 10th this year. He has been voicing Batman for the last 30 years. In a dispute with the US Federal Trade Commission, Epic Games have agreed to pay $520 million to settle violations of the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act and deceptive practices that tricked players into purchases in the video game Fortnite. The COPA violation at $275 million is the largest penalty ever levied by the FTC for such violations, and Epic will need to change default settings in the game to better protect children and teens, along with policies for their protection. The second settlement will be used to refund players that were affected by unintended purchases due to Epic's practices. The majority of these issues were resolved in 2018, but if you believe you're eligible for a refund, you can find information on the FTC website and Epic's statement on the settlement. This year, Fortnite has generated $5.8 billion in revenue. Did you remember to bet on Duke? Fallen 90s video game icon sees 2 unofficial releases this week. The Duke Nukem Forever 2001 Restoration Project has released the first slice of their mod for the leaked development copy of the abandoned 2001 version of Duke Nukem Forever. The project aims to complete the game and make it fully playable. You can find the project on ModDB. The other surprise Duke release is that of the cancelled Duke Nukem Endangered Species, which put the blonde action star into a game hunting style title. The game by Action Forms Limited was cancelled in 2001, and many of the assets were then used to develop Vivisector Beast Within. A prototype of Endangered Species has been released online and can be found at thedatadungeon.com. Nintendo has been running a Christmas YouTube Advent event, where they announce 4 indie titles a day for 5 days, with each day so far containing an instant release. We have seen announcements for Risk of Rain Returns, a rework of the original Risk of Rain, The Punch-Run, a platformer about a boxing penguin from the team that brought us Fast RMX and The Tourist, and Potioncraft, among others. It is heavily rumoured that the final 2 days will include a release of the hotly anticipated, Queensland-developed Golf Story follow-up, Sports Story. Will it make it out for Christmas? Let's find out. The legendary coder and founder of id Software, John Carmack, has left his position at Meta. His internal farewell message was leaked in part to the media, so he posted it publicly in response. This is the end of my decade in VR. I have mixed feelings. Quest 2 is almost exactly what I wanted to see from the beginning. We have a ridiculous amount of people and resources, but we constantly self-sabotage and squander effort. There is no way to sugarcoat this. I think our organisation is operating at half the effectiveness that would make me happy. VR can bring value to most of the people in the world, and no company is better positioned to do it than Meta. Maybe it actually is possible to get there just by ploughing ahead with current practices, but there's plenty of room for improvement. You can read his full statement on John Carmack's Facebook page. Carmack has moved to his own startup, Keen Technologies, which is working on artificial intelligence. Ho ho ho, Merry Newsmas! Oh.
Thank you, Paul!
That was a lot.
That was some news.
That was a lot of news. I think it's kind of wild to have someone inside Meta quit and say, we're wasting all of our money and resources.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I'm glad they
that's what it
realize
looked like. That's what it looked like to everyone from the outside. But to have it confirmed is like, whoa.
Well, most people on the inside realize just how badly some things work out, or how ineffective something is. Often they are the people who are involved in these ineffective processes. So it doesn't surprise me that, there's people who know that stuff isn't working. It's not working as well as it should for a company as big as Meta. But often they're not allowed to just say that. It's not good.
Until they quit.
Yes.
See, my thing is, I look at all of the money they're pouring into it and what's coming out, and I think they must have some other goal that, like, does not align with what we think of as, like, people who play games and, care about VR and stuff. But I guess not. I guess they're just wasting it because they don't know how to do what they're doing.
The goal is for a slightly more realistic Zuckerberg.
That's impossible.
I know.
Well, all right. Anyway, so that doesn't surprise me. I think it is a little funny, though. That's like the first thing he says is just kind of like, this, not working.
Yeah.
maybe they'll magically find the solution somehow, doing what they're doing, but I highly doubt that. But who knows?
Or maybe they'll brute force it by keeping on doing and throwing money at it into the giant dumpster fire.
And maybe they'll work.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll work. I did want to talk a little bit about Fortnite.
Yeah. I think we want to start with Paul's putting this in perspective, that this fine is $520 million.
Which sounds like a lot.
And then Fortnite generated $5.8 billion in revenue.
And I cannot stress this enough, there's a huge difference between, say, a single million and a single billion.
It's 1,000.
Yes.
1,000 times.
It's 1,000 times.
That's a stupid amount of money.
It is a lot. But you know what? I'm glad it is effectively a slap on the wrist. A little chippy slap.
Yeah.
But
that's like 15% of their earnings, maybe.
But I do feel like that there's more of a crackdown on unethical practices in monetization of video games.
Especially ones marketed at children.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about some things that were shown at the Game Awards. First off, I'm going to bulldoze over all of the big titles because I want to say that the Armored Core 6 trailer looks incredible, and I love giant robots, and I saw someone redub the trailer to Ante Up by MOP, and it fit perfectly and was extremely funny, and you should find that. It's on Twitter somewhere.
Yep.
I don't remember where, and I'm not going to link to it.
I've not watched any of those. I have, however, watched the Hades trailer.
Yes,
several times.
You have.
Hades 2.
Hades 2.
Hades 2.
Hades 2!
Did Hades actually come out in 2018? Because I feel like it wasn't that long ago.
I think it was.
Dang. Well, end of the year, my friends.
End of the year.
Passage of time.
Gone.
End of the century, actually.
No.
Yeah.
No. No, very much no.
It's the new millennium now.
No, it's not.
Well, so much time has passed this year. So
Caroline's still running off like the Julian calendar or something.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good for you.
Back in my day, we had sundials.
I believe that.
And then the moon blotted out the sun and brought upon a new age.
Now, my name's Hazel. I'm here in the studio with Caroline and Zahra.
Ew.
And it's been a long year.
Oh boy, it has, yes.
And we've played a lot, or maybe not that many video games.
Not that many for me.
I mean, the time played was a lot. The amount played for me was probably not that much.
It's still quantity. Time is still quantity.
I was thinking quantity of games.
I was thinking quantity of time.
Okay, then yes, I have played a lot of games.
Yes, you have.
You've played a lot of games.
But this is what... This is... our Game of the Year countdown thingo that we're doing.
Our super ultra official Game of the Year countdown.
If your favorite game isn't part of the countdown, that's okay. It's part of your countdown. But if it is, then you have excellent taste, especially if it's mine.
No, probably not.
Well, hey. Wow. Oh, if they agree with yours or with mine?
If they agree with mine.
Well,
it's probably not.
Alright, well, okay, let's get started. Cameron says, this is the first year for years I can't say Tetris Effect. Dang it. Well, that's actually tragic. I'm sorry to start this countdown to such a bummer.
It's very valid.
Moving on, we've got Toby's.
Toby, Stray, because my short list for games played to completion that came out this year consists of one game. Probably because it's a great game that kept me interested enough to play while life's chaos happened around me.
Life chaos sure did happen around you.
Yeah.
We've also got Paul's right here.
Paul, his game of the year was Neon White. And in his own words, it was a game he saw almost no appeal in before release. A strange mix of first-person platforming, speedrunning, and cards that are guns but also moves. It sounded confused. It isn't. The game is perfection of clean and clear design that will have you pulling off incredible feats as you try to beat your own, your friends, and the world at large's times in these expertly crafted levels. Control is so well designed, I was even able to play the game easily on the Switch, which would typically be my last choice for a game demanding precision. A fun game that can easily turn into an obsession. Also, it has a banging soundtrack. And he is absolutely right about that.
It does have a banging soundtrack, and it is a beautiful game. And it's also very cool. And I think it's very interesting that Paul and Toby's are, I would say, kind of unexpected almost. For, because I know Toby likes his MMOs, and Stray is not an MMO. Stray is Stray. And the fact that it's a game that he was able to play through because it has the ability to work well with his life and his schedule is a nice thing.
Yeah. I think something worth taking into account here is that pretty much every member of the Zed Games crew has had some life-altering event happen this year. So, not all of us have had that much time for games.
Yeah, which is something I think needs to be remembered. You know, not all of us can play games all the time. There's actually very few people who can play games all the time. And I know that a lot of us, you know, go to work and are thinking, oh, I can't wait to boot up Destiny 2 when I get home. And you get home and you're tired. I just want to say that doesn't make you less of a gamer. That just makes you a gamer with responsibilities.
Sometimes the best game in the world is the one you have time for.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Aww.
Happy Zedmas!
Happy Zedmas indeed. You're listening to Zed Games. My name's Hazel. I'm in the studio with Caroline and Zahra.
It is time for part 2 of our Game of the Year countdown. So we've got top 3 games from Izako, because sometimes you can't just pick one.
It's just too much.
It's just too much.
He can't keep it a 1.
Nah. So he's got Horizon Forbidden West, which I have to agree.
Yeah.
Gameplay looks amazing. Wish I could play it someday. Wait, we can. We could play it someday.
Isn't that the sequel?
Yeah.
To the first Horizon?
Yes, it is.
Okay, not the first
Yeah,
Horizon.
it's the second
Yeah,
one.
you could play that.
I could play that. We've
Make
also
your
got
dreams a reality.
another vote for Stray.
Mm-hmm.
And We Are OFK, which we actually heard one of the songs for earlier.
We did.
Excellent choices, Ez, I've got to say. Fine choices. I've got nothing else to add for that. But Caroline, what is your game of the year?
My game is Pokemon Legends Arceus, because it was new and interesting little journey from the Pokemon world, and I shiny hunted in that game through the end of my marriage, so it got me through a tough time, so I love it for it.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I think we all have a story of a video game that got us through something really difficult.
Yeah.
And it's your trauma game now.
Yeah, it is my trauma game, and I love it. And I've got like nearly a whole box full of shinies from that game.
Oh, good work. Nice work.
Or maybe the shiny was the friendship we made along the way.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And the friends who are on my side and
yes,
not hers.
Sorry. It was also the game that you played before Pokemon. Which one? Violet? Which one?
Scarlet.
Scarlet.
Yes.
And we all know how that turned out.
Pokemon Arceus gave me expectations. My expectations were in the dumps because of Shining Diamond. Then Arceus came along and just went, ooh, maybe the next one will be really good. And then it just went again. Yeah,
that's pretty much a summary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want my Pokemon Isekai back.
Well, maybe I gotta be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
I got hit by a truck and I woke up as a Pokemon trainer.
Well,
it was more God teleports you into the past so that you can, I don't know, tell the locals that Pokemon are actually not that scary. And because you can throw things real good. That's your special power. You can throw things real good.
Baseball.
I mean, that's baseball.
What's
That's
a
baseball,
baseball?
That's baseball, baby. Or baseball. Anything? Anything?
I'm so sorry. I haven't been into baseball for so long.
I don't know what baseball is.
No, you.
Is that where you set the ball on fire? And
As far as I know, maybe. I don't know. I didn't play it. I just know about it because somebody used to be into it.
Anyway.
What's your game of the year, Hazel?
My game of the year, I kind of got a couple. I'm not super committed to any of them. Sonic Frontiers is the one that immediately comes to mind.
Yes.
Because it is such a blast to just sit around the TV and like pass the controller back and forth when we get stuck.
So much fun.
Thank you so much for doing the stupid
horrible ball puzzle.
Orb kicking thing. Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness.
Thank you for helping me figure out what the hell was going on with the knight when he was like frisbeeing his shield, and I was just like, what? He's skating away from me. I can't get to him.
And thank you for letting me know that how to beat a certain thing where all the ninjas came out all at once.
Oh yeah, parry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what a game.
Sonic, it's a team game.
It really is. You know what? We're Sonic heroes. We are a trio of Sonic people. Someone help me out here, please.
Oh my
I'm
God.
floundering.
What are you floundering for?
I'm talking by myself.
Well, I said
I'm
that
just listening.
that wasn't my only game.
Oh, right.
You're talking about Sonic, and I had to shut up because you like
You
Sonic
know,
so
I
much.
feel
Cut
I
me
feel
off.
bad saying it.
What?
Because I say it all the time, but Destiny 2, like, I haven't been playing it lately, but I did play a lot of it around the time that the ceiling fell out of our house.
That's right.
And I really needed to stare at a computer screen.
Yeah.
And other than that, Overwatch 2.
Oh yeah.
Overwatch 2? I haven't touched Overwatch 2.
I haven't touched it either.
What do you think about it?
It's Overwatch.
Well,
Yeah.
it's Overwatch,
It's the same
baby.
game.
Well, alright. Well, let's move on.
You're listening to Zed Games. I'm Hazel. I'm here with Caroline and Zahra, and we're talking about our favorite games of the year.
Yes, we are. And I believe it's now my turn.
It certainly is.
Hang on, wait a minute.
Oh,
Alright.
my eardrum. Thank
Just
you.
had to peek the microphone real quick.
Yep. So probably it's very obvious that my most anticipated game of the year was Sonic Frontiers. And it's definitely up there. However, I'm going to cheat slightly and say that my game of the year is actually Sky Children of the Light.
Bamboozles!
Yes, I bamboozled you all. The Aurora concert actually helped remind me how I felt when I first started playing this game in March, or even February. I started playing it very early in the year. And it was just a random selection that I just grabbed. I was like, that's free, yoink. And then I realized that it was made by the same people who made Journey, which was another game that really got to me. And Sky is no exception. It's got a beautiful sense of community, and just has always been really heartwarming. So there we go. My game of the year is not Sonic Frontiers.
Shock.
I actually am
Absolute shock.
Wow.
The gaming world is rocked by this discovery.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Freaking love Sonic Frontiers. But I think Sky definitely made more of a long-term impact on me and the way that I've seen things since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's been a lovely night with the two of you.
Wow.
it has been. It's been a lovely night with you as well, listeners.
It's been a lovely year with you, listeners.
It really has been. I just want to take a moment to thank you all. Not just my crew, but also all you listeners at home. It's been a difficult couple of years, and I'm sure we're all feeling it. But it's pretty fantastic that we've all been able to connect over games. No matter what form it takes, no matter what genre, no matter our opinions, we all still get together every Thursday night to talk about video games for an hour. And that's nice.
And y'all listen.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
Yeah. So, everybody, happy holidays. Stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Vote for the 4ZZZ Hot 100. You still have time.
Yes, you still have time.
Vote for
Your
some
votes
Sonic
count.
music.
You could, well, I don't know about that, but you could make your favorite song be number one.
Yes.
Bug Snacks.
Bugsnax released like 3 years ago.
Can we still vote for it?
No.
It's for music that came out this year.
I am disappointed.
But that's all right, because there's still so many music that came out. So many music.
So many music.
much music that came out this year that is absolutely chockers of just full of bangers.
It's time for us to say goodbye.
Oh.
So,
goodbye.
Goodbye, listeners.
Good night.
We'll see you next week, and we'll see you next year.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.